The world does not care about your intelligence. It does not care about your kindness. It does not even care about your talent. Right now, someone less intelligent than you is living the life you want. Someone weaker than you is sitting in a position you dream of. And someone with fewer skills than you is commanding more respect than you ever receive. Why? Because they understand something most people never figure out. They understand the dark psychology of human nature. They understand that power doesn't flow to the nicest person. It doesn't flow to the hardest worker. It flows to the one who understands the hidden rules. You've been conditioned since birth to play fair, to wait your turn, to be nice. But fairness is an illusion, and nice people finish last. The truth is, the game of life is rigged, not against everyone, just against those who never bother to learn how it's really played. 5 centuries ago, one man decoded this hidden playbook. His name was Niccolo Machiavelli. Living in Renaissance Italy, an era of constant betrayal, political warfare, and bloody ambition, Machiavelli saw firsthand why good men got destroyed and why ruthless strategists ruled empires. What he uncovered wasn't a philosophy. It was a survival manual. And today, I'm going to reveal 8 dark psychological principles that will transform you from someone who gets ignored into someone who becomes impossible to overlook. But let me warn you, once you see these truths, you cannot unsee them. Once you learn these principles, you will never again be able to play the role of victim. Because you'll know, deep down, that influence belongs to those who seize it. Let's begin. Principle 1. Fairness is a trap. You have been sold a lie that the world is fair, that if you're patient, respectful, and kind, you'll eventually get what you deserve. But let me ask you, how many times have you given respect to someone who never gave it back? How many times have you helped someone who didn't help you in return? How many times have you waited for fairness while others walked right past you and took what you wanted? This isn't bad luck. This is programming. You've been programmed to believe fairness exists, when in reality, it's a psychological cage. Machiavelli wrote, "Men should either be treated generously or destroyed, because they take revenge for slight injuries. For heavy ones, they cannot." Translated, half measures make you weak. If you push back softly against powerful personalities, they'll see you as prey. If you set weak boundaries with aggressive people, they'll keep pushing until you break. And every time you expect fairness, manipulators will exploit your predictability. Fairness is not noble. Fairness is bait. Stop waiting for it. Start creating power dynamics that actually work in your favor. Principle 2. Ruthlessness is emotional discipline. Most people think ruthlessness means cruelty, anger, or destruction. That's completely wrong. True ruthlessness is not about lashing out. It's about ice-cold emotional control. Picture this. Someone embarrasses you in front of a group. The weak person snaps, argues, tries to defend themselves. The crowd sees insecurity. The attacker wins. But the ruthless, they feel the anger. They register the sting. And then they ask, what move would most elevate me while most damaging them? Maybe that move is silence, showing the attacker isn't even worth acknowledgement. Maybe it's one calm, factual statement that makes the attacker look like a fool. Maybe it's a decisive shift of attention that leaves the attacker irrelevant. The point is, they choose their response. They don't get triggered. Psychologically dominant people treat emotions as information, not instructions. They feel everything, but they control what they show. And because they can't be baited into reactions, people start treating them with caution and respect. Principle 3. Respect beats likability. Here's a truth that will shatter your programming. Being liked is worthless. Being respected is priceless. When people like you, they test your boundaries. They assume you'll forgive. They take risks with your feelings because they know you're safe. When people respect you, they hesitate before crossing the line. They calculate before making a move against you, because they know there will be consequences. Look around your own life. Who gets the most respect in your circle? The nicest person, or the one whose presence demands attention? Machiavelli said it clearly. It is much safer to be feared than loved if one cannot be both. This doesn't mean becoming a tyrant. It means building a reputation for strength, not softness. For being fair, yes, but never fragile. Likability makes you disposable. Respect makes you essential. Principle 4. Decisive action creates authority. Weak people destroy their own power with endless warnings. They threaten, they plead, they complain, but they never act. Strong people, they act once. And that one decisive action carries more weight than 100 empty threats. Machiavelli wrote, "If an injury must be done, it should be so severe that his vengeance need not be feared." In other words, if you must act, act completely. No halfway, no hesitation. Make the move so clear, so final, that the other person never dares test you again. Because in power games, it's not repetition that wins. It's impact. Principle 5. Perception is reality. Here's the brutal truth. Most people will never know who you really are. They'll never investigate your character, your depth, your intentions. They'll only see the surface. And their judgment of you will be based on signals, not substance. That means image is not decoration. It is survival. Think about it. Two people achieve the same result. One showcases it, frames it, highlights it. The other stays quiet, hoping others will notice. Who gets the opportunities? Who gets the recognition? Always the one who manages perception. Machiavelli wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." Perception is not optional. It is the battlefield. Manage it, or others will manage it for you, and not in your favor. Principle 6. Control the narrative. Power isn't about what happened. It's about what story people believe about what happened. Every decision, every conflict, every outcome can be framed in multiple ways. Confidence can be reframed as arrogance. Strength can be reframed as cruelty. Failure can be reframed as learning. The one who controls the narrative controls the world. Think about every public conflict you've ever seen. Who won? The one who was technically right, or the one who told their story first, loudest, and most persuasively? That's why Machiavelli said, "Men in general judge more from appearances than from reality." If you don't master narrative control, your enemies will write your story for you. And once the story is told, the facts no longer matter. Principle 7. Systems beat emotions. If your authority relies on anger, you have no authority. Because anger can be manipulated. People can provoke you, bait you, control you. But when you build systems where good behavior automatically leads to reward and bad behavior automatically leads to exclusion, you become untouchable. A system cannot be argued with. A system cannot be guilt-tripped. A system simply operates. When people realize that respect gets them access and disrespect cuts them off, they adapt quickly, not because you begged them to, but because your system made the cost of bad behavior too high. Machiavelli wrote, "A wise ruler should rely on what is in his own control, not on what is in the control of others. Control the system. Let the system control the people." Principle 8. Silent power is ultimate power. The loudest person in the room is rarely the strongest. True power doesn't need to announce itself. It doesn't brag. It doesn't threaten. It moves quietly, strategically, invisibly, until it's too late for anyone else to stop it. The most dangerous people aren't the ones shouting. They're the ones observing, calculating, positioning. And by the time they reveal their influence, the game is already won. Machiavelli captured it perfectly. The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. One must therefore be both, a fox to recognize traps, and a lion to frighten wolves. Silent dominance means you strike like a lion when needed, like you think like a fox at all times. And the combination makes you unstoppable. Conclusion. Here's the final truth. If you do not master these principles, someone else will use them against you. This isn't theory. This is happening every single day. Manipulators are exploiting those who believe in fairness. Strategists are outmaneuvering those who rely on good intentions. And silent dominators are climbing past those who still think likability is enough. Every day you delay learning these truths, you're losing ground. Every day you choose to be nice instead of being strategic, someone else is positioning themselves above you. You've been told that understanding the psychology makes you dangerous. And it does. But the world doesn't reward naivety, it rewards influence. So you face a choice: remain predictable, exploitable, invisible, or step into the game with eyes wide open, armed with the rules that most people will never learn. Because while you're deciding whether to act, someone else is already deciding what to do with you.